You show up only when you feel like it. That is why you are still weak. The amateur waits for motivation. The master operates on identity. You wake up. You look at the ceiling. You feel tired. You feel empty. And you decide, I'll take a break today. Congratulations. You have just handed your destiny over to the cheapest, most unreliable thing on earth, your mood. The weak always drift like a dry leaf in the wind. On sunny days, they fly high. On rainy days, they fall down and rot. They let laziness, fear, and random impulses guide their life. But a stoic man is different. He does not care if it is raining or shining outside. He does not care if his heart is rejoicing or bleeding inside. He acts because he knows who he is. Not because he wants to do it, but because it is what must be done. Identity over mood. If you are still living by your emotions, you have never truly owned your life. I know how you feel right now. I understand the helplessness that gnaws at your soul every single night. You once made grand plans. On New Year's Day, on a Sunday night, you were burning with excitement. You thought you would change. You swore that tomorrow you would be a different man. But then, what happened? You woke up the next morning, and that fire was gone. In its place was stagnation, sluggishness. You excused yourself. My body isn't feeling well today. The work pressure is too much. I'll do it tomorrow. You are addicted to a cheap dopamine, the illusion of a future that you never actually build. You look in the mirror, and what do you see? A man with so much potential, but zero achievements. You are disrespected by others, abandoned by those you care about, left behind in the race for money and status. And the greatest pain of all, you already know the reason. It is not fate. It is because you coddle yourself too much. You give long explanations to everyone about why you failed. You blame the circumstances. But deep down, you know the truth. You are a coward in front of your own emotions. Every time you give up on a goal just because you are not in the mood, you are driving another nail into the coffin of your own self-respect. No one is coming to save you. No one. The world does not care how you are feeling. The market does not care if you are sad today. The rent invoice does not automatically disappear when you cry. The brutal truth is, the older you get, the lonelier you become. The fewer people understand you, and the more people wait for you to collapse. You think you are special? You think your pain is unique? You are wrong. Millions of people out there are hurting too. But the winner is the one who swallows his tears and keeps working. The loser is the one who sits around, waiting for someone else to encourage him. Your mood is the biggest scam in this world. It shifts every hour. Right now, you are happy, but a moment later, you can be miserable just because of someone else's words. If you build your career, your wealth, and your muscle based on something that constantly changes like your mood, you are building a castle on sand. It will collapse. It will absolutely collapse. Stop demanding the world to be gentle with you. A stoic man does not need gentleness. He needs hardness. Let me tell you a story about real power. More than 2,000 years ago, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius woke up in a cold, brutal military camp during the Marcomannic Wars. He was the ruler of the Western world, yet his body was plagued by illness, and his mind was heavy with betrayal and chaos. He did not want to step outside. He wanted to stay under the warm blankets and yield to his exhaustion. But he opened his journal and he wrote down these words to himself. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. I have to go to work as a human being. He did not wait for a better mood. He stepped into the freezing mud and commanded an empire because of his identity. That is your weapon. Identity-based discipline. Do not ask, do I want to go to the gym today? Redefine yourself. I am an athlete, and an athlete never skips a workout. Do not ask, am I in the mood to write or work today? Define it. I am a warrior on the battlefield of my career, and a warrior never abandons his post. Enforce hard boundaries with yourself. Step 1. Execute the 3-second rule. When the alarm goes off, count 3, 2, 1, and get up. Do not think. Do not negotiate. Your brain is a cunning liar. If you give it more than 3 seconds, it will find a reason for you to be lazy. Step 2. Work in the dark. Cut off all cheap validation. You do not need to post a story to show you are working hard. You do not need to tell anyone about your goals. Let silence rule. Let results make the noise. When you act regardless of your mood, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. I am the master of this body, not my emotions. Do you hear that? The clock is ticking away. It does not wait for you. Your today is slowly running out. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, will eventually knock on your door. That is an irreversible mathematical fact. But who is the man standing in the mirror 5 years from today? Is it someone still sitting there, hugging old wounds, addicted to self-pity? Or is it an unshakable fortress that storms must bow to? Everything you endure today, from the silence of those who turned their backs, the contempt of those who underestimated you, to the freezing cold of loneliness. These are not punishments. Look back. They are your raw materials. They are the roughest bricks that fate has thrown into your hands for you to build your own citadel. The weak see an unanswered text, and they see total collapse. The Stoic sees that silence and recognizes a vast, open territory to cultivate internal power. They do not beg for favors. They do not plead for anyone to understand them or validate their worth. The moment you abandon the desperate craving for the world's applause, you reclaim the entire gravity of your own life. Your mind will no longer be a dry leaf blown away by a half-hearted remark, a judgmental look, or a betrayal from someone you once trusted. Remember the story of Marcus Aurelius in the mud of Central Europe. He could have chosen to break down. He could have chosen to curse fate for pushing a philosopher into the middle of a bloody war and plague. But he chose silence, and he chose to write. He wrote to remind himself that power does not lie in a crown, but in the ability to master what happens inside his own head. The greatest victory of a man has never been forcing his enemies to their knees or making an X crawl back in regret. Intense tone. The ultimate victory is that when all of those things unfold, your soul remains as calm as a mirror-flat lake without a single ripple. You stand firm, untrembling, unresentful. You stand like a sacred mountain of stone, where every violent wave crashing against you must shatter into mere sea foam. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Both hurt to the very bone. But discipline forges you into cold steel, while regret will slowly eat you alive until you are nothing but an ash heap of wasted opportunities. The choice has never belonged to fate. It belongs to your fingers, your steps, right in this exact moment. Stop trying to change the weather. Stop begging others to be gentle with you. Train yourself to be harder than any adversity. Turn off the screen. Step away from that fake comfort zone. There is no need for loud declarations on social media. Stop showing them that you are trying. Show them the results when everything has already been settled. Hold on to the silence of power, execute in the dark, and walk like a man who knows exactly where he is going. If you have made it to the final moments of this video, you no longer belong to the shallow crowd outside. You belong to the rare few who choose to confront the brutal truth in order to rebuild themselves from the ruins of emotion. Subscribe to the channel Stoic Rise to turn the training of your mind into an iron discipline every single day. Tonight, leave a comment with a single word: identity. This is not a meaningless interaction for an algorithm, but a decree witnessed by your own conscience, a declaration that from this moment forward, your identity will crush every fleeting mood. Stay silent and execute.